with competitiveness within the fund management sector increasing quite significantly. We now cross to Cape Town, where we've got Ram Barkai, CEO of Cadiz, standing by to give us more details on their deal with BNP Paribas. Thanks so much, Ram, for joining us this afternoon. Well, BNP Paribas announcing that it will pay $22 million for a 60% stake of your stockbroking arm. What exactly does this put on the table? What exactly are we looking at here? And what does it open up for the likes of Cadiz, but BNP Paribas as well?
Okay, there's obviously the technical part of the transaction where we exchange 60% of our securities business for an amount of 150 million rand, and it is structured in a way that we're going to get 118 to Cadiz Holdings, and 80 million rand will capitalize the new securities, BNP Cadiz Securities, with 32 million ours portion, 48 is BNP. I think what's much more exciting is the fact that we're bringing a very well known and reputable foreign investor to South Africa. BNP presence in South Africa wasn't that significant, and we're gonna join forces together and hopefully open up South Africa for their client base overseas, which is quite significant, and will allow Cadiz and BNP together to enhance our service level in South Africa, which obviously will contribute to our bottom line at the end.
Well, what does this joining of the forces imply for the management structure over at Cadiz?
Well, Cadiz remains at the moment the same. I'm still the CEO of Cadiz, and the joint venture will be run by Dana Hearn, who is the current managing director of the securities. We will probably beef up some of the staff in this joint entity, bring some expertise in other areas that we don't have the skill base. But aside from that, the services, the operational services to the securities arm will continue from Cadiz Holdings. Mm-hmm. So in the short to medium term, it's not going to change much to the management of Cadiz. Obviously, the management of securities will be significantly more independent from the Cadiz group, and they are controlled by BNP. And obviously, a lot of the drive and the day-to-day operational management will come from BNP in London and Paris.
Let's explore some of the synergies that is going to be extrapolated within this relationship, Ram, because with any M&A activity, that is core to the success of it.
Okay, I think Cadiz Securities been established in 1993, focused on equity derivative. We acquired stockbroking and a few other areas in our quiver just before listing in '99. And what happened that in the last few years, it's been very difficult to compete in this market where liquidity is dominated by people with large balance sheet and strong balance sheet banks. Electronic trading also dominate the market, what they call a low touch trading, and we're starting to see business running away from us, and that basically joint venture or whatever will bring, I'd like to see a lot of this business coming back. I think the fact that we will be able to, the BNP has a large balance sheet, we'll be able to start facilitating liquidity in the market, which will allow our expertise and client base in South Africa access to a much larger liquidity pool. Mm-hmm. That as a broker we struggled with in the last couple of years. We'll be offering a great platform of electronic trading. BNP has a wonderful platform overseas of electronic trading. A lot of the business done today by fund managers is a low touch, where the fund managers have as little touch between his desire to execute a deal to the stock market and then done by systems, and we're going to bring this with BNP here.
Yeah.
We've got a great research platform. We've been rated highly for the last 15 years in all the research that we've been doing. We're struggling to unlock the value in such competitive market, and hopefully with all the other arrows in our quiver, we will be able to get significantly rewarded, more rewarded for our research.
Of course, that just further cementing what Russell Lamberti was saying a short while ago, that, you know, in a tight monetary environment, you've got competitiveness really, at its peak at this stage of the game. Bottom line, Ram, are you happy with the price? And more importantly, perhaps, are shareholders happy with the price that you're being offered here? Because you would eventually, at some stage, need their approval for this transaction to progress, right?
Sure. I'll start with the price. I'm very happy with the price. I think it's a very fair deal. It's been structured very well from extracting some value, still remains some value. The shareholders, our board obviously approved the deal, and we have fair amount of representation of shareholders on our board. And I will see shareholders in the next few days, and I'm reasonably confident that they'll be very happy with the deal. In terms of competitiveness, I think, we're all aware the world is in a very interesting place at the moment. If anyone follow what's happening in Europe and happening in the States. At the same time, and I've made this comment before, that maybe in South Africa we need to worry less about America, Europe, although there are, massive players in the world, maybe behave more like emerging market and seek opportunities and growth opportunities in South Africa and Africa and emerging market. And I think they still, despite the fact that there is a high competition and the market is tight, that's the nature of the market when things are tough.
Yeah.
Things are not going to be tough forever. That's the nature of life. And it does give us, or specifically give BNP, a great opportunity to position themselves rather than come in the middle of a bull market and trying to get a market share, to position ourselves together for when the market's going to turn.
Ram, a good place to leave it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave that conversation there for this afternoon. That was Ram Barkai, CEO of Cadiz.